Good evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I'd like to thank you for joining me for our Chit-Chat today. Okay, this ran 7 hours ago on the Dave Ramsey show. My wife wants to quit her job. I can tell you right now the tea is going to be good, but I, this evening, have hot cocoa. Yeah, I sometimes stir my marshmallows with a straw, so that's why I have a straw in there. So get your tea, folks. All right, so I hope everyone's having a good middle of the week. Let's take this down, 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 and let's start.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Alex is in Norfolk,
Hi,
Virginia.
Alex.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing good. How about you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So last night, my wife turned to me before bed and told me that she didn't feel satisfied at work anymore, and that it was causing her too much stress, and it just wasn't what she expected when she joined the job. She works as a social worker while she's waiting to save up to go into her master's so she can become a clinical psychologist.
I can tell you right now, when they say she's saving up for her master's, I sure hope she is saving up, because those psychology, counseling, public service like teacher jobs, if you have to take out a student loan for them, they rarely will pay you back, if ever, what you made off of it. You know, so in other words, it will cost you more, all right, than what you'll get in return, which is why those jobs typically are public service loan forgiveness jobs. And that very wording PSLF in front of the job application tells you you're not going to make enough money to pay off the debt.
Moved here about 3 years ago when we came here to Virginia, and she's had plenty of jobs since then, but they've never lasted longer than about 6 months before she would either find a better job, or maybe they had a disagreement at work, or she couldn't take the job anymore.
Sounds like job stress is not quite her thing. Okay, quitting just because you have a disagreement. We'd all be quitting jobs. Nobody would be employed ever, at any time.
And we're in the middle of paying off the student loans from her psychology degree, and we just found out that my wife is pregnant like a month ago. So
congratulations!
It's all kind of hitting me all. Thank you. It's all kind of hitting me all at once. I'm very excited about the baby, but I was very collected when she told me about it. She was surprised, and I told her it's because we're financially stable. We're on plan. I don't have to worry about knowing if we're going to be able to afford the baby or not, because I know that we can. But if she's planning on moving to a different job, that it shakes my structure, I guess. Like it shakes my rock. I know that we can get by on my income, but
what
we
do you
cannot
make?
get by with a baby. I'm in the Navy. I make I make $4,200 a month.
Okay,
$50,000
a year. What does she make?
She makes $23 a month.
I would think they're going to need every dime. Every dime. You've got a baby coming on the way. You're going to need every dime. She makes $2,300 a month. Yeah, sounds about right for psychology work. It doesn't pay a lot. Public service does not pay.
Okay, $30,000 a year. Okay.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be cruel, but I like to always throw out what I'm thinking in my head, and I kind of wonder, is she going to use the baby as a reason not to go to work? Like, in other words, I'd like to get an idea of how old they are. Probably not that old. I'm assuming late 20s, maybe early 30s. But is she going to be the type of woman, this is just a thought in my head, that's going to say, oh, I can't work anymore. I've got a baby coming. And now, honey, it's on you. Because in this day and age, with the economy the way it is, inflation the way it is, yada, yada, you know what I'm talking about, okay? I think relying on one income, unless it is a substantial income where you can have a substantial amount of savings, okay, that can back you up. I think in his situation, in their financial bracket, I think one income is incredibly risky. I certainly would not want to try to have a spouse, a newborn, or a child of any age, myself, on what was he made? I think he said around $40,000 a year.
and we put $3,000 towards her debt every month.
How much student loan debt is?
57. That's what it was last month.
57,000.
Yes.
Well, I hate to say it, but she needs to stay till at least that debt is paid off. She needs to work till that debt is paid off.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that y'all's only debt, Alex?
No.
Yes. We thought it was a lot less than that until she graduated, and we looked at the numbers, and it was twice that.
Twice of what you thought.
Which is not uncommon when it comes to student loans, right, people? Not uncommon. The school can't really tell you precisely what your student loan bill is going to be until you have completed the entire program. Now, I'll tell you something. If they really want to put themselves in Hurt City, here are all the steps they can do. And remember, I've talked before, how much of our financial woes, predicaments, misfortunes are brought on by our actions. And you've heard me say it before. I believe most of it is. So here she is with $56,000 in student loans, and we know how quickly they grow. Okay, they're putting $3,000 towards it, so they're really obviously working to make a dent, pay it off. But imagine doing all of that to all of a sudden go, well, I don't want to work anymore, and now all that effort that you've just put at $3,000 a month towards your student loan now starts to go in reverse, because why? You can't afford to keep up on that $3,000. And then before you know it, you're at income based. Then before you know it, she decides to go back to school, and oh heck, I don't make any money anyways, so we're going to take out more student loans, and the bill starts to climb. I don't see the logic of working towards a $3,000 a month student loan to simply say, I'm going to quit, and possibly basically, null and void all that effort that's been put into paying off the debt. I think this is one where it's kind of that phrase I use with one of my friends. Every now and then we have this phrase, at least I have this phrase, and it's called "suck it up, princess." That's what she needs to do. Suck it up, princess. You want to be a mom, and you're good. Once you become a mother, all right, and on their income bracket here, okay, you don't have the luxury to just be able to say, I had an argument at work, and so I quit. I woke up today and I didn't feel like going to work, so I quit. First and foremost is the needs of the child, period. That is the first and foremost. This means you will sacrifice, you will toil. I think of the sacrifices that my parents must have made to get me raised. I see the sacrifices that other parents make to get their kids raised, okay? Financially, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. But here, we're focusing on the financials of it. She's going to have to put her big girl pants on and suck it up, princess, and go to work.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, not to psychoanalyze her, but what's with the job changes that are pretty consistent with her? What do you think the thing is about that?
So the reoccurring thing is she doesn't find meaning in her work. When she works somewhere that she finds meaning at, then she never complains about it. And she hasn't complained about this job she's been there 6 months now. She hasn't complained about it until the last 2 months. She started mentioning that she was tired of training. She's been training on the computer ever since she got to the job. And every time they give her opportunity to come forth and do something that actually deals with social work, she trips or fumbles or doesn't get something right. And then somebody gets upset with her. She's got some rude coworkers. And then I think she just can't handle it. And she brought up that a lady called her that was supposed to have called her a month ago so that they could fix something, but then now they couldn't fix it because she didn't call when she was supposed to, and she got cussed out over the phone. And she wanted the job so she could help people, and she doesn't feel like she's helping people. She feels like people are getting angry at her for trying.
Okay, I kind of get where this is all going at. You don't think teachers don't feel like that? How do you think customer service people feel? How do you think the people feel that bag the groceries, ring up the gas? I'm sorry, her situation is not unique. I wish I could say, oh, that's a special situation. How many of us become teachers? Yeah, you don't think I've been cussed out by a student? Miss Horn, I hate you, and a few other F words to go behind it. I'm sorry, she's not special. Suck it up, princess. She wants to go to work every day She wants people to throw themselves at her feet, tell her what a wonderful person she is, how hard she works. They will meet all expectations that she assumes they're going to meet, and then she's going to, trollop away and do the tulips. That's not the way the real world works. God help her, she's going to become a mom, right? She's going to have to toughen up. What is she going to do when someone tells her parenting skills suck? Right? I'm sure there isn't a parent alive. Okay, my late mother was beaten up when we were very, very little. And I remember the police coming to our door. Why was she beat up? Because she was a teacher who had adopted black kids. That's why she was beat up. And I was very little. But I remember the police coming to our door, and they were very, very kind. Very, very kind. This is in the 70s. Okay, you got to think about the time period. Also, this is in the, mid 70s. We were very little because I was adopted in 1972 at the age of 4. And, what's she going to do? Did my mother quit her teaching job? Nope. Did she stop adopting kids? No. Did she stop adopting Vietnamese black kids? Nope. In other words, this woman's got to suck it up. Okay. If she thinks she's going to go to work every day and people are just going to love her, yada, yada, it's not going to happen. And as far as finding meaning in her work, well, maybe, perhaps, okay, she just doesn't like working. It's my belief that someone who just doesn't like to work is never going to find meaning in a job. It doesn't matter what they do. They just really don't want to work. I can see this pregnancy becoming a huge argument down the road, maybe sooner than later. She's not going to want to go back to work. She's going to play the pregnancy card. Now, I'm going to be sensitive because I've never been pregnant. I've never been a mommy. Okay. But I know a lot of people who are been mommies. I know a lot of people have been pregnant, and guess what? They work. They suck it up. Okay. She's too much. She's too much of a princess. She wants everyone to make her feel good every day, like she should never walk away having a bad day. I've worked in incredibly toxic environments. Absolutely toxic. When I was in insurance, I was in some of the most toxic environment I think you could even imagine. I'm very blessed because it hasn't been like that for the last 18 years since I've been a teacher. Does that mean the days are always easy? No. Are there ever days you crawl out of bed and you're like, oh my Lord, can I do this one more time? But that's just more of my energy level. It has nothing to do with the career itself. Okay. I don't think she would be happy no matter what. And the fact that she job hops all the time, okay, whatever happiness she's looking for, she's going to have to find it from inside of her and not expect people outside of her to give her that happiness. That acceptance, I guess, that she kind of wants.
Trying to help.
Okay.
How old is she?
That's what I wanted to know.
23.
She's 23 and she's this miserable already. I thought she'd be at least in her late 20s. So she's 23 and she's this miserable already. I'm not going to say if I were a betting guy, but I'm going to bet $1 this marriage isn't going to last. I was watching a thing on how people can predict whether or not a marriage is going to last or not. Hell, if I had looked in my own marriage, it would have been a slam dunk. It wasn't going to last. Slam dunk. Won't get into the details, but every red flag, red sign was there from day one. This is going to be a tough marriage because I can kind of see her using I don't feel good today. I don't find meaning in my job. People aren't making me feel the way I want to feel. Okay.
What can we do to help?
I want to know. I want her to be happy in her work. I love listening to the Ken Coleman show, and I believe in working at something that you feel passionate about, and I want her to feel passionate about what she does.
Here's a bite of reality, especially when you become a parent. It isn't about passion. It's about meeting the needs of the child. How many parents work a passionless job because they know their kids have to be fed? They have to keep a roof over their head. They want them to live in the best neighborhoods so they can go to the best schools. When you become a parent, your needs of passion is second to what your child needs. It's just kind of how I feel about it. Yeah, I know I'm not a parent, but and when I say your needs come second, I'm not saying disregard your yin and zen and all of that stuff. But the ability, if you want to become a parent, the ability to just go, well, I don't want to work anymore. That's not so easy. That's not so easy. That's why I say, suck it up, princess. Put on your big girl pants. Okay, you're creating someone. You're not creating something. You are creating someone. Their needs come before your needs. And we'd all like to have passion in our jobs. Every one of us would love to have passion. Now, I'm very lucky. I'm in my dream career, so I really lucked out. But I wouldn't say it was totally luck. I planned it that way. Okay. After god-awful years of turmoil. Okay. But that took a long time for me to find, and it took a lot of sacrifice. She's 23 years old and she's looking for passion. I think right now, if she's going to become a mom, she needs to be looking for stability. And I hope she's not going to stick it all on her husband, or there's going to be a problem.
But I'm scared because so much is going on right now, and she wants to make this choice. Mm-hmm. I want to back her in whatever she wants, but I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Okay. There's two reasons that we work. One is to self-actualize and have purpose and meaning in our work and do work that matters. And that certainly needs to be the long-term goal. All right. The second reason we work is we're grown-ups and we have to feed our family.
Yay! Snaps for me. Snap, snap, snaps. Ah, yes. Preach. That's what I was saying. Right. You can have the desire for passion and stuff, but you've got a kid that needs you. You have a baby that's growing that needs you. Your love of the job, if you want to be one of those people that, oh, it's the love of the job and I want to be carefree, then don't have kids and probably don't even get married.
And you suck it up and put a callus on your hand and you do the work.
Yay! Exactly. Suck it up, princess. Nobody feels sorry for you. Millions of people have done it before you. You are not special. Or I should say, she is not special. You're special.
That's the two reasons you work. Now, here's the point. What Ken Coleman is telling people, and what we tell people here and have for 30 years is, you don't suck it up for 38 years. You suck it up for 38 months. But she has never once sucked it up. She has never once stiffened her backbone and walked through a tough time. Every time the wind blows, she goes out the door. That's who you've described to us for the past few minutes. And
this is why I don't think the marriage is going to last. I'm just going to say it. People, I don't see them married down the road. I don't see it. Nope. Those big red flags, my years of experience, my own failed marriage. I don't see this. She is daddy's princess, and when she doesn't like something, she wants to be able to quit. What happens when she becomes a mom and mothering gets too hard? Now what's going to happen? I can't handle the stress of the child crying all night and getting up at 2:00, yada, yada. Now what's she going to do? Demand a nanny? Demand babysitters more frequently at, $15 an hour? Dave is right. Okay, Ramsey is absolutely right. Okay, she's 23 years old. She hasn't even started the working world yet. She thinks what she's been through is tough. She doesn't know what tough is. I went through such a bad experience with an what shall remain unnamed insurance company here in Tampa. That's represented by a cartoon character that the whole world knows. That was so bad that before I left to become a teacher, my boss got fired. The department person got demoted. All right. The HR person quit for better opportunities somewhere else. They always say that. They went to go either be with their family or better opportunities. Okay. That's how toxic it was. And I got my teaching degree and got the hell out. This woman at 23 years old, she's just gone through high school, basically.
And so she has a baby on the way and $57,000 in debt. This is when you suck it up. Yes. If somebody's mean to you, oh well. Welcome to the world. Deal with it. Suck it up.
She has some problems with anxiety.
And she wants to be a psychologist?
Ooh, when your husband's laughing, you got a problem. When your husband's laughing, it almost seems like this is just kind of a toy career. It's like a child who plays with a toy, gets bored with that toy, and then wants another toy, gets bored with that, and then wants another toy. You can't give them a toy that they'll ever like. You can't give them enough toys. If she is this much of a prima donna at 23, imagine what she's going to be like at 30. I don't see this marriage lasting. I really don't. I really don't.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're going to have to do something. She's going to have to, at 23 years old, she's going to have to develop some toughness to be able to be a mommy and to be a grown-up. And I'm not saying anxiety's not real, and I'm not saying just pretend like you're not anxious. That's not the point. If she needs to see a counselor, fine, let's see a counselor. But this idea that every time it gets rough at work, we quit, you're never going to keep a job in your whole life. I own this place, and some days I hate it.
I'm a teacher. It's my dream job. I wouldn't want to be anything else. And trust me, there are days I go, can I do this for one more year? Everybody in every job goes through that. That's why she's not special.
And I can do anything I want to do, but I do it anyway.
And Alex, I think the hard thing, what you're going to have to discover is you can't control her as much as you want it for her. She has to want it herself, and her own journey of understanding herself and why she is the way she is. Why we all are, right? We all have to get to that point where we're like, okay, what has caused me to have these patterns in my life? The wake-up call has to come from her. It can't come from you wanting her to have it. And that's going to be a tough position that you're in, Alex. You're calling the show for her, right?
And Rachel Cruz is absolutely right. A person can't expect their spouse to make them happy. God help the person, God help the spouse who is married to somebody that feels that they're okay. So God help the person who has a partner, and that partner thinks it is the other partner's job to make them happy. So I'm married to somebody, and that person I'm married to thinks it's my job to make them happy. No, it's not. It's really not. It's each individual person's job to find their own happiness. But when you are in a relationship, it's to find it, in my opinion, in a way that does the other person, no harm. You do the relationship no harm. You do the family finances no harm. You do as little harm to emotions and, to each other as possible. Okay? It is not, and I guess this is one of the realizations I had, being married and just getting older, all right, is you really come to realize that some people are miserable for forever. You can't give them anything that's good enough. You can't buy them anything that's good enough. It's not, you just can't do it because they're looking to other people. They're looking externally for something that makes them happy, like it's somebody else's job. And at least the way her husband was describing it on the phone, basically every time her feelings are hurt by somebody else, okay, she quits. Well, they're right. She'll never keep a job. And that can be a very difficult relationship to have.
Let me ask you something. She got brothers or sisters?
No, she's an only child.
I thought so.
Okay. So she has been catered to most likely her whole life. She has been the center of attention. Perhaps no one has told her no. No one has, perhaps, I'm just guessing, okay? Perhaps no one has placed limits on her. She's never had a sister whack another sister over the head with an umbrella. Okay? My sisters could fight like cats and dogs. I was a wimp, so I always stayed out of it. But literally, okay? Like they could whack each other over the head with an umbrella, practically make each other bleed, not literally, okay? And then they'd be best friends. She's never had to deal with confrontation, being an only child. If she wanted that corner of the room, she got it. She wanted that toy, she got it. No one to have to share with. So getting into the adult world and having somebody tell you, F you, I don't like you, you suck, it's kind of like, oh my gosh.
So she's her daddy's little princess, isn't she?
No, she had dad problems.
Oh, okay.
So he left the picture halfway through.
Okay, all right. Because this it sounds like that.
It's a lot of hurt. She has a lot. She's functioning out of a lot.
She's dealing with a lot of hurt.
And a lot of her, when she feels rejection, she bounces, Alex. Probably from what you just told us in the last 30 seconds from her story. I mean, there's a lot of her stories she has to become aware of.
This woman is not ready for marriage. This 23-year-old woman does not have what it takes to be married. She's not ready. I can pretty much assure you this will end in divorce at some point. She doesn't even know who she is. And something that you learn is if you think getting married is going to help you find who you are, no, it's just going to make it that much harder. Hopefully you'll eventually find it, but you may also find that you married the wrong person.
For her to heal and become a whole person and not to bounce. So part of me is like, I understand why she's doing it, but it doesn't make it okay. And so it puts you in a tough position. And so you're going to have to sit down and you guys have to lay out these numbers and just say, hey, for the next 9 months, because when you have a baby, depending on what you want to do, like we have to be in this. We have to figure out a way to pay down this debt so that we're not drowning financially. And you need to be, and I want you as your husband. I'm seeing this pain
long term. I want
play
you to
out.
be.
Yes,
I want her to be long term. I want her to be in something she loves and where she's helping people.
Yeah.
Well, of course, and that's pretty much the end of the video, so I'm going to go ahead and expand this. Well, of course, we want her to be in something she loves, but sometimes you also realize that I find that can be earned. In other words, sometimes to get to the point of where we really love something, and it's a passion and it's something that we want to do, and I don't care if it's, with finding the right person, finding the right job, whatever it is that's important to us. For most of us, it takes many steps that we have to go through, many things, many lessons we have to learn, things we have to build within our own head, okay, before we can get there. And, I didn't become a teacher till I was 38. It's been my dream job since I was in 6th grade. I just never pursued it for reasons that aren't relevant right now, but I never pursued it. But then eventually I did. But I think to myself, man, I'm glad I didn't land in that dream job until several years had passed, because I'm not sure I would have been as successful at it. And it made me realize that sometimes to reach that level of success that we would like, whatever it is, and I'm not talking financial success or anything like that, but just that internal personal feeling, where you can go to bed on Sunday night and you don't dread Monday morning because you go to work. You might not like the getting up early, that's one thing, but you don't actually dread going to work itself. That sometimes, most of us have to earn getting into that spot in life. It's kind of like, finding the right partner. Sometimes it has to be earned. She hasn't earned anything yet, and she appears to want the world. She wants the perfect job. She wants the perfect recognition, respect. She's friggin' 23 years old and can't even hold a job. She hasn't earned anything yet. Maybe in time she will. I wish this couple the best of luck. All right, I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I would like to thank you for joining me this Wednesday evening. I do hope you will consider subscribing, and you have a beautiful night. Bye.